DFS Playbook podcast here. We are recording for Friday's 12-game main slate. James, how you been, buddy? It's been a little bit. Obviously, I've been away on my honeymoon. I am back here for the weekend, just in time for the All-Star break. Got a little 3-game weekend coming up, and then we're off till next Friday here. So, kind of timed out the honeymoon vacation schedule. In sync with the All-Star break here. But coming back to a big 12-gamer, and I'm on the playbook for this one, so right back into the grind, my guy.
It was entirely planned, right?
Yeah.
Honeymoon right before the All-Star break, so you get another break right after that. No, just kidding. We never get breaks. But John, happy to have you back, brother. We've missed you, and nothing like having a 12-game slate to get right back into the saddle.
Yeah.
For the podcast, for you to then do the playbook, and then to hop on the live stream at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard with us. So you had a full slate
right into the Fantasy Alarm Show. I'll be on the Fantasy Alarm Show with Howard Bender as well, 6 to 8 on Sirius XM. Full day of work here on a Friday for me, which is fine. That's how I like to do it. I like to just dive right into the fire. No easing in. Just like we're back, we're full bore, we're ready to go. Obviously, a lot has been going on in this world of sports over the last couple of weeks here, and no different when it comes to the MLB scene as well. Just some monster performances. We've seen some guys really start to break out, including a few on this slate here today. So we're going to go over it as we usually do here on the show. We're going to give you our favorite pitchers here, value pitchers, guys we're looking to fade, favorite infielders, value infielders, outfielders. We're going to build some lineups here. A lot to get to on today's show here, James. Before we do all that, though, a little wrinkle since I've been gone here now. We got a sponsor for the show, a little RT Sports here. So why don't you tell the fine folks what we can find out over at RT Sports?
Yeah, over at RT Sports, aka Real Time Sports, they have a pick'em promo. And all you guys got to do is head over to the Real Time Sports Daily Pick'em Contest. And all you got to do is set a lineup of player props. And if you hit them all, you win. They have baseball, basketball, football, golf, and more when more comes around. And all you got to do is, and I've said that 3 times already, but go to rtsports.com/alarm using code ALARM23, and first-time depositors get a 100% instant match up to $200. That is rtsports.com/alarm using code ALARM23, all one word, and first-time depositors get a 100% instant match up to $200. And please play responsibly, and for help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
So that's pretty fun. Obviously, we do a lot of pick'em contest stuff here over at Fantasy Alarm. So great to have RT Sports now in the mix. I know come fantasy football season, we do a lot of fantasy baseball stuff at RT Sports as well with their best ball contest. So it should be pretty fun upcoming season for all of that. So James, with the RT Sports stuff now talked about, let's break into the slate. Got 12 games to talk about. Let's look at the spreads, look at Vegas here. What should you be keying in on here as we kick things off today?
Yeah, there's nothing that really stands out over-under wise. 9 implied runs in the LA Bowl, Dodgers and Angels. 9. That's it. That's the only game with a 9 implied total. Also, John, not on the main slate. Just want to throw this out there. Alek Manoah making his return. The day that you make your return, Alek Manoah also makes his return.
Coming off of 11 strikeouts in his most recent minor league outing, right? He's back,
Yeah, he's back. Yeah, totally. Nothing really at all that is significant right now. And we are recording, obviously, at the time we're recording. So maybe things come out and change and lines move. But I don't see anything significant on the Vegas front that we should really focus on. I think we should just dive headfirst into this 12-gamer.
All right, well, let's get into it. Let's talk about our favorite starting pitchers. We mentioned some guys are starting to break out here. We saw Abbott get called up by the Reds a handful of starts ago. He was a strikeout guy at the minor league level. If you look at his first 3 starts here at the major league level, and he just wasn't striking anybody out. He had 12 total strikeouts over his first 17 and 2/3 innings. And then all of a sudden, light switch came on, something flipped for him here. And we're looking at 30 strikeouts over the last 3 starts for him, 19 and 2/3 innings, 30 strikeouts. Striking out Colorado as a lefty, that's not a tough task, but
No.
Baltimore 8 strikeouts and the Padres 12 strikeouts here. Now he goes up against the Milwaukee Brewers, a team that we have targeted against left-handed pitching all season long. Andrew Abbott is $9,900. He's my favorite starting pitcher on the slate. He's a top price pitcher on the slate. Probably going to gather a lot of ownership because for 12 games, you don't have a starter over 10K on this one. So there's going to be plenty of value to fit these guys in here. You got to think a lot of people are going to be looking to spend up at the starting pitcher spot today.
I'm kind of surprised seeing the names after Abbott that we don't have anyone 10K, but like it is what it is. Abbott is worth the spend right now when you consider what Milwaukee has done against lefties. And let's not be gun shy after Justin Steele let us all down the other night. Like it happens. He had 5 strikeouts. He gave up 3 runs over 6. Like Milwaukee still has a 27.6% strikeout rate, and that's still 1.3% higher than anybody else in the league.
Right.
Like it's significantly higher than anyone else. They have a 660 team OPS. That's slightly better than it was. Still dead last in baseball. Like they are just a bad offense against lefties. So don't worry about what Justin Steele did. Don't bring that into this start. And all that talk about like the inevitable blow up for Andrew Abbott because the peripheral stats are seemingly put to bed just with how he's pitched lately. So he
gave up the 3 home runs against Colorado, and that's what we were kind of talking about. Like, hasn't given up a home run yet, hadn't given up a run yet. And we're like, all right, due for regression, goes against Colorado, gives up the 3 solo home runs, but has 10 strikeouts, and then he's been dominant since then. So, again, this is a guy that profiled as a strikeout pitcher at the minor league level, hadn't shown that strikeout potential yet at the major league level, but last 3 starts, absolutely dynamite. Abbott for me is my favorite starter. Where else are you going on this slate when it comes to starting pitching?
I'm going right below to Zach Gallen, and he's kind of been up and down lately. At least the last start we got from him, we got the upside with the strikeouts, 12 against the Angels. But like the power he's been allowing, he's allowed a home run in 6 straight games. That's obviously concerning. And in 3 of those games, he's allowed 4 more earned runs. And this is a guy who's currently one of the Cy Young favorites, especially with Clayton Kershaw hitting the IL. So I like Gallen. Pittsburgh has been dreadful of late, just against both splits, and a team that we actually liked against lefties earlier in the year. They've just been bad. They have a 699 team OPS now against right-handed pitching. That's 22nd in the league, and that number is just dropping by the day. And I know they're getting healthier. They got Reynolds back. They just got Brian Hayes back on Thursday, and that's all fine and dandy. But they just don't have a lot of thump. Like, Henry Davis,
right? That's what we're looking to fade.
Yeah. I mean, like Sawinski is their savior. Like Henry Davis has been okay, but he hasn't provided like any thump.
Hitting over 300 so far. So I mean, but to your point though.
Yeah, it's like he's hitting 300, but like they have good, like they don't have a lot of like just power bats. He has 1 home run, 4 extra base hits through 17 games this year, So I'm willing to go to Gallen here after Abbott. I think, you can obviously look at Castillo or Brown as well. Houston has been really good of late. So
Castillo's actually my fade of the top group. I'm not going to have any Castillo. Could that come back and burn me? Sure. I mean, he's been an elite pitcher, but you're looking at recent performances. Teams are starting to get to him. This home run number is
it's scary.
concerning.
It's scary. Yep.
9 home runs allowed over his last 5 starts here. 2 home runs to Washington, by the way, a team that doesn't hit home runs.
And the Yankees who are terrible.
True. Yankees against right-handed pitching had like the lowest ISO in baseball without Aaron Judge in their lineup. So the fact that he's starting to give up these home runs is concerning because Houston can put the ball over the fence.
They have been.
Yeah.
Abreu's continued. Yadier Diaz has it's
Jolks
been
hit homer
Jolks,
today,
dude.
Right? Like,
yep.
There's a lot of pop in that Houston lineup. So for me, Luis Castillo is the out at this price. I don't mind going Hunter Brown against Seattle. I know Seattle's putting some runs on the board tonight, but fine going there. How are you approaching the debut of Carlos Rodon here?
I'm happy he's back. Not even looking at it.
Looking at it.
Yeah, he only threw like 56 pitches or 58 or whatever the number was. It's just he's going to be so limited. With the back and the arm issue, there's no way that he isn't like very like babied drastically.
Right.
So I'm
Love
not
that
even.
DraftKings put him at $9,100
No,
too.
it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
There's not,
I probably only way I would have considered him if he was like one of the 4K players that we've gotten a
right.
couple times, but like no chance at 9100.
All right, let's pop down over to the next tier below value guys. Anyone sticking out to you on this slate again? 12 games, so a lot of pitching options. But anybody worth noting for you when it comes down to this range?
Yeah, I mean, I like Justin Verlander here a little bit. San Diego's definitely been better of late, but they've been much better against left-handed pitching specifically. Like all of their big time numbers like Tatis, Machado, Ha-Seong Kim, they're all hitting lefties
Yeah,
extremely well. And Verlander's now coming off back-to-back starts where he hasn't allowed an earned run. The Mets have some momentum, just swept the Arizona Diamondbacks, a really, really good team in Arizona. So I don't mind Verlander 8,600. Could be in line for a win. We know how much Yu Darvish is struggling on the other side of this matchup.
yeah,
Jordan Montgomery, John, for all the crap that we gave him earlier in the year, he's been dominant of late. Just like this is kind of who we expected him to be and thought
yeah.
he was going to continue to be.
I mean,
And
great the home starts, right? Like
yes,
last year he was so dominant at home. This year he's been so bad. And then you look at his last 5 home starts here, he's allowed just 4 total earned runs. So get him on the road. So maybe something to at least look at here. We know that the White Sox have some guys that can hit for power against left-handed pitching, but I agree with you. Starting to turn the season around a little bit and something to at least keep on your radar. Because if he comes out of this road start against the White Sox with another good outing, it's all go on Jordan Montgomery moving forward for sure.
well, he's actually, if you move over to the splits, he's actually been better on the road this year.
Sure.
So like, and it is what it is. Like everyone has fluctuations in home road starts and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like,
Yep.
he's just kind of like in this recent stretch, he's faced Cincinnati, mowed them down. Got through San Francisco, still with a good performance, had 7 strikeouts in that game.
6 strikeouts against Washington, the team that doesn't strike out.
And then Houston, who's in the middle of like a very good stretch, mowed them down, no problem. And the Yankees, obviously, I mean, they
Right.
can't hit anything. So, 8,100, and I like some White Sox. I'm not saying I don't. Like Luis Robert is a guy I'm going to actively target. He's a monster against lefties, but like they also strike out a lot. And Jordan Montgomery's pitching as well as he has all year, and he's still priced like he's not. So
Yeah.
I like 8,100 for Jordan Montgomery.
Last 2 weeks, White Sox 26% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching. They do have a 276 batting average, which is up there, 10th best, 320 WOBA there as well. But no real power, only a 111 ISO. Strikeout numbers, as you mentioned, though, definitely appealing here over the last 2 weeks for the White Sox. So I like that. I like the Montgomery call. What are your thoughts on Savale here against Kansas City? Any interest in rocking him again? Another guy that just seems to like sort of defy some of the peripheral stats on him. Had that one tough outing against Milwaukee, but for the most part, very serviceable on an offense that we think should do some damage against Lynch on the other side of this game.
Yeah, so I think a realistic possibility for this Aaron Savale outing is the Oakland outing, where he almost goes 7. He only allows 2 earned, and he has like 6 strikeouts because the Royals have been dreadful in the strikeout department. Now, Tanner Bybee obviously let everyone down on Thursday in that department specifically. He only had 3 strikeouts and still navigated an offense and didn't allow any damage whatsoever. They can't hit, John. Like they are. It is only getting worse seemingly every time they step onto the field without being
dead last in WOBA over the last 30 days against right-handed pitching is Kansas.
And what's the strikeout rate? Because
6th highest, 24.4%.
I'm shocked that it's not even higher. Like I'm honestly, because they've now moved into 4th overall for the year at
last
24.7.
2 weeks it's up to 27%.
Because I mean they got mowed down. I think they struck out 30 times in a 3-game series against the Royals or against the Twins. Like it's. I realistic expectation for or ceiling could be that Oakland start, but plus a win, right? And then we're looking at 22 fantasy points at $7,700.
Yeah, so I really like Savale. He was one of the first pitchers I kind of keyed in on this mid tier when we were looking up because I liked Abbott and just kind of wanted to see where we go. But I think Montgomery certainly could find his way into some builds. After that, I don't really look at much else. Stripling's not pitching deep enough into games to consider him against Colorado. Gallmer's coming off of some good outings. Would you tempt fate here against San Francisco in San Francisco?
I mean, we know there's two things about San Francisco. They're beat up, they're hurt, and they have a lot of lefties in their lineup. So maybe I'm not fully sold. I actually like some Giants. So like
last 2 weeks, again, small sample size, Giants 30.4% strikeout rate against lefties, a 212 WOBA.
I mean, I could definitely be sold on something else because he's so cheap, and we have 12 games. We're going to want to spend up on bats. So
I understand, like 5,400 coming off one of his best starts of the year. I saw someone actually take down a GPP using Austin Gomber while I was sitting on a beach in Greece. I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened here? Austin Gomber won someone a GPP against Detroit. $5,400. Again, it's a dart throw because he is Austin Gomber, but as you mentioned, beat up team, a lot of lefties, and they're striking out a ridiculous amount. Back to being as bad as they were against lefties earlier in the year. So, that was the only other dart throw value play. It is worth noting as we're recording here, Boston DraftKings has Brandon Walter starting for Boston. James Paxton pushed to Saturday. Brandon Walter pitched in relief on Friday or on Thursday slate. So we'll see if he is just an opener, if they use him as a starter still. I would expect come this launch time of this show here that will be updated. But again, we're live at 5 o'clock Eastern. We'll have all the latest news. So pay attention and tune in to that there. Any final pitching options for you here, James?
No.
Okay. Moving on over to our favorite hitters then. Talk to me about the infield. Which guys are you looking to target today?
Yeah, so the most expensive guy I like is Corey Seager, 6,200. He gets Trevor Williams. Trevor Williams has allowed 18 home runs this year. And again, Trevor Williams has a long history of just struggling with left-handed bats, and that's been his MO once again this year. So Corey Seager right off the top, homered on Thursday. Love that play. I'm going to Arizona next.
Yeah.
And they get Rich Hill. And Christian Walker has been in his bag lately, John. Back-to-back games going into Thursday with home runs, and we're seeing the power on display. That we know about the history with him against left-handed pitching. And then same thing could be said for Ketel Marte, who, am I used to seeing Ketel Marte at $5,900? No, I am certainly not. But we've long said, and I think I talked you into the Ketel Marte versus lefty train, as I continued, just peppered you with it. And
he was good against him last year, right? But the power had just disappeared.
Yep.
And it was hard to justify paying a high price point for a guy that wasn't going to put the ball over the fence.
Yep.
And now he's at 15 home runs before the All-Star break. So hard to argue with the price.
Yeah, 304 average again, and 380 WOBA against left-handed pitching this year. Right. So I think we're going to see a very popular stack with Arizona. Probably see Carson Kelly in the lineup. Probably see Evan Longoria. We're going to see Emmanuel Rivera. So there's cheap options that will help you afford the Christian Walkers and the Ketel Martes of the world.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Both of those guys are on my list here. I also think, Marte having second base only eligibility there, kind of helps lock him in because there are a lot of guys that with dual positional eligibility, I think that you'll see some people maybe look to flock to. A guy that I was looking at here on this slate as well at the second base position. Now I'm trying to find Jimenez here against Lynch. Now, we talk about it all the time, not to be worried about this being a lefty-lefty spot for Jimenez. Never mind the fact that he had a just ridiculous night here on Thursday. He had a home run, 3 stolen bases. He's really starting to break out. His numbers this year against left-handed pitching, 286 with an 802 OPS, a 440 slug. So guy that, again, lefty-lefty matchup isn't really been an issue for him here. He's also 3 for 4, super small sample size. Don't get mad at me, James, in his career against Daniel Lynch. So, if you're not spending up for Marte, I like the Guardians again here. I know I made a joke the other day, and we like to say we stack bad offenses here, but Cleveland is a better offense than they were earlier this year.
Correct.
And I like Jimenez, and I like the Guardians again going up against Daniel Lynch.
How about this, John? To double down on your point, just to drive it home a little more. Daniel Lynch on the year against left-handed bats. 444 average allowed. 444 average.
Yeah.
940 OPS, 426 WOBA allowed to left.
It's not good.
Not good.
That's not good.
Also, come on, dude. I've had to deal with BVP truthers in Colby, in Fensty, and Howard, and then you pull this. Like, come on, you're better than that.
I know. All right, other value plays for you, or any other top guys you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned the Arizona value in Longoria and Emmanuel Rivera, both firmly in play. Evan Longoria, by the way, the other day, hitting second for Arizona. So if there's a lefty on the mound, look out. We could see a Longoria near the top of the lineup. Anthony Rizzo gets Jameson Taillon. And the only reason I'm going to even give any Yankee a shout out is because Jameson Taillon has still been dreadful against left-handed bats and now has to go pitch at Yankee Stadium where he was dreadful for an entire season last year against lefty bats. So Anthony Rizzo. And then one of the Giants I do have interest in is Patrick Bailey. He has been really, really, really good from the right side of the plate, specifically against left-handed pitching. And, I do agree with you on the Gomber front, but Austin Gomber still has allowed an 820 OPS to righties, 352 WOBA, and Patrick Bailey hitting 424 with a 512 WOBA against left-handed pitching.
It's a good number. I like Perdomo here also against lefty. Again, he talked Arizona, just stacking up Arizona.
Yep.
I think all of that's gonna, come into play here. Another top guy. I know it's going up against Bailey Ober, but I mean Gunnar Henderson coming off of a monster night. You just take talent sometimes, and that comes through here. So that's some of our top infield and favorite value infielders here on the slate. I like Candelario against Bradford as well. You know me, I love those Nats against lefties and righties. I just like to play the Nationals as a contrarian stack. I think you can get here against Bradford as well. So looking there for me. Moving on over to the outfield, James, talk to me about your top guys.
You're all the way back. Talking about the Nats' first podcast back. 12-game slate. I know.
Have to.
All the way back. So I know I touted Jordan Montgomery, but I'm also not afraid to ever play Luis Robert Jr. against a left-handed pitcher. On the year, Luis Robert is 24 of 67, 6 home runs, 358 average, 482 WOBA. He has over 400 ISO against left-handed pitching. He has been ridiculous. Before this doubleheader on Thursday, he was terrible the whole day. But, I mean, look at through these box scores, John. He had like 9 of 10 games where he went double figures for DraftKings points. So Luis Robert. And I know Adam Duvall has been struggling. I understand he's been struggling. He has not been the same guy post-injury that he was pre-injury. But Luis Medina, starting for Oakland here, or, he's been used as a long man as well. 285 average to righties, 950 OPS, 401 WOBA allowed. And we know the pedigree that Duvall has, and specifically in the power department. 5 home runs against righties this year, 350 WOBA. So I like Adam Duvall quite a bit. I wish the Red Sox had a few more righties that we can go to. Maybe a Connor Wong spot here tonight, John. So I have some interest in some Red Sox bats in the outfield.
I do like the Red Sox. Medina's been absolute trash, so hard to go against that one there. I'll cheat. Say Ohtani, obviously, can always kind of use him. Gonsolin hasn't been very good. Ohtani is just a cheat code, even when he's splitting nails, throwing pitches, still out there mashing. So I'm a big fan of him. You have JD against the righties we've talked about here. And I mentioned, I don't know how many people are going to play Houston against Castillo, but you know me, I like to sometimes stack against some of these top starters that maybe have some underlying numbers. Those home run numbers are no joke. You give up 9 home runs over 4 starts, 5 starts, you got to start paying attention to that. So give me Tucker. I think there's a good spot for him there at the 5K range. I like Lane Thomas. Do I want to spend $5K on Lane Thomas? Probably not, but good to see him. Good to see him continue to play out there. Get Julio Rodriguez under $5K. It feels like it's been a little bit since we've had him that cheap on this slate. Where else are we going? What's your mid-tier and value guys?
I like Nolan Jones here, $3,900, really good price, still crushing right-handed pitching. And Stripling's been bad against lefties. I know he's not pitching deep into games, but I like Nolan Jones. I like Leody Taveras. I've made this proclamation, John. I just need DraftKings to do what they did for Atlanta. Wait till your next Atlanta slate. Wait till try to play Atlanta the next time they're on the main
6K
slate.
each player.
Everyone is over 4K. Not a single player is under 4K anymore. They need to do that for Texas. We need to stop this Leody Taveras 3,300 stuff.
And Ezekiel Duran.
We need to stop 3,800 Ezekiel. Like we just need to stop it. It's so stupid. You can play both of them. I prefer Leody because he's a lefty. I like Janikowski, who's been on fire. If they play him, and he's been stealing bases as well.
Sure.
So I love the Texas value. It's stupid that they're still this price, but Trevor Williams is in for a rude awakening here.
I like that. I like that a lot there. Obviously, always good. Nobody played them tonight either. Leotis and Duran were 10% each on the slate. Again, I think you can go with some of the Angels outfielders here going up against Gonsolin, Ward, and Adele. Some pretty cheap options as you kind of work your way down the slate here. So we'll have a lot more. Obviously, a full playbook coming out for everybody today, and we'll be live at 5 o'clock Eastern to break down all that we got going on here for the main slate. James, want to give me a quick run through of some of your home run calls and stacks for the day?
Yeah, so home run call, I'm going to go Christian Walker. Top stack, I will go with Texas. Contrarian stack, I'll stick with Arizona. I'll go Arizona contrarian. I guess we'll see how contrarian that's going to be by the time the slate comes around. I think Texas is the number one most popular. Start of the night, I'll stick with Christian Walker. And value play of the night, I'm going to stick with Arizona or Texas. Why the hell would I not? I'll go Evan Longoria, especially if he's going to hit near the top of the lineup again.
All right, I like that. My home run call, or I think Devers gets one. I think Devers goes off here.
It's a good spot for Boston.
This is a good spot for him being at home. Hot, humid air in Boston this weekend as well should maybe help flying out there. I'll give me Boston as my top stack. My contrarian stack here. Do you think Cleveland probably won't be contrarian against Lynch? So
only reason, yeah, they're cheap. I don't think they would be.
Right. So let's go Washington then. We'll go Washington against in that spot against Bradford. Value play, I like it. I like Jimenez. I like Jimenez there as a value play, and we'll stick with Devers as my star of the night. All right, actually, you know what? I'll pivot off. I'm gonna go Gomber as my value play. Austin Gomber. My favorite.
I like that. Then we're gonna use him in our lineup for sure.
I like that. Let's go Gomber, Abbott. Build the lineup.
I went Patrick Bailey. Oh, actually, we can't because we're using Gomber.
We're using Gomber. Sorry.
It's okay.
Canceling you out.
It's okay. It's okay. We have Yan Gomes against the lefty if we wanted to go there. We have Francisco Alvarez.
Let's go Alvarez.
He had another home run.
Actually, Yanni on a returning Rodon. Do you think he goes? Think he gets there?
He homered again today.
Oh, we got Arizona. We'll go Carson Kelly. Kelly.
Yep.
Corbin Carroll, by the way, left today's game with an injury. So
yeah, it's the second time he's been injured.
that elbow shoulder is giving him some trouble there. You like Christian Walker?
I went Walker Longo. Like we're just full bore.
Okay.
The only problem with Longo, the only thing with Longo is we're taking Devers out of the equation, and I don't know if we want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Devers. If we did Devers,
I want to play Boston. I'm totally down to play any. Boston
Devers is 4,900, so like,
and Jarren Duran's 35. Like we didn't mention him. He's stupid cheap. I put him and Leody Taveras as my top two in my outfield right now, and then we could play like Duvall.
I got 4,350 for a shortstop and an outfielder. Can we fit Tucker? Can we get Tucker? 3,400 shortstop? Anybody down there?
It's probably Volpe if Volpe's still. Oh no, they moved his price up 3,500.
No, he's not.
JP Crawford homered again today. What did you do? 4,300 for an out. It's Volpe down here.
What about Moniak? Did you do Moniak?
Yeah, I would.
And $4,700 for a shortstop.
Gunner.
Roll a bit. All right, guys, that's it. We'll be back here live.